everybody.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Vodafone Play Talks. Tonight, we're going to be discussing about the road to pro. From hardships to success, from lights to dark rooms, from rookies to champions. Our panel tonight involves Nico Gunnar Lopez from the United States. How you doing, Nico?
I'm good. You know, long days after we lost, but besides that, I'm good.
We're so happy to have you here. To your left, actually, we have our own Dota 2 caster, Vlad Catusanu. How you doing, Vlad?
I'm good, very good, very good. Thank you for having me, and I'm very excited actually to share a panel with these two.
Glad to have you here, man. And last but not least, Bakut Zayac Emiljanov from Kyrgyzstan. How you doing, Bakut?
I'm super fine. Hello, everybody.
Glad to have you here, my man, as well. Guys, I'm just going to start off really simple, and I'm really curious about yourselves. So, we're talking about Dota 2. How did Dota 2 become one of your passions? How did it start for you? Let's start with you, Bakut.
I have started playing from 5 years, maybe. I was very, very young, and my brother just takes me from how it's called.
Kindergarten.
Yeah. And we were going for computer clubs and playing this game, Warcraft 3. And it starts very way from far.
Well, how did it start for you, Vlad?
Oh, I had a little bit of a stint when I was also very young as an attempted Counter-Strike 1.6 semi-pro in Romania, and then towards the end of Counter-Strike 1.6, my computer wasn't as good to play CSGO, so naturally I just moved to the second best thing at the time, which is now the best, Dota 2. And yeah, I've been gaming ever since.
I think I was one of the OGs of 1.6 as well. What division were you, Vlad, playing in PGL, right?
Yeah. PGL, I think I was... we definitely started down low. We were in C3, and I think the furthest up we made it was B2 at one point.
Okay, that's still an achievement, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty good achievement. I've never gotten that far, so. How about you, Nico? How did it start for you, man?
It was 2013, so it was a lot later than these guys, I think. And I got a beta code because the beta codes for Dota 2 were coming out.
Same, yeah.
I got it through TF2. So I was a TF2 and Call of Duty guy, and then I beat a guy in a 1v1 in TF2, and he traded me the beta key for Dota.
Really, that happened?
Yeah, that real story that happened. So he's supposed to give me a hat in TF2, but instead of a hat, he gave me a Dota 2 beta code.
TF2, how's that going on nowadays?
I haven't played. That was the last time I played the game. I've only played Dota since, so I wouldn't know.
Turned out really good to stick to another game, right?
Yeah. I enjoy it. It's fun.
Well, to be honest with you guys, I only play tower defense on Dota 2. Yeah, you can shame me all you want, but it's really fun. I don't know if you had a chance. I'm sure you did play some tower defense on that game. Nico, did you?
I haven't played it personally, but I know a lot of my friends play it. They play a lot of custom games, so.
But they're not on your level, right? So they have to play something.
No, they're the other pros.
They're other pros. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
You just see on the list, you'll scroll down, and a lot of them is ranked, and then some people just see the name of custom games they're playing at the current time. So.
All right.
Everyone
So I'm
does
not
it.
the only one.
Yeah,
then.
everyone does it.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about the competitive landscape, right? Because you guys have been doing it for some while now. You've been doing it at the highest level. Tell me, do you think Dota 2 receives its support it deserves, and from the community, from the sponsors, from the other organizations? How do you place Dota 2 at the moment?
It's not terrible. It's okay. I think the community is really good sometimes, but I think there's times whenever I go to Europe and there's Counter-Strike going on, it's a different vibe for the Counter-Strike people. It's just more well known, I guess. Dota, I would say when you're in the Dota scene, it feels very loved, but then when you're out of it, it doesn't feel the same compared to Counter-Strike.
Right. Does this translate also to the United States? Is it Dota 2 in the United States is stronger, probably?
No, it's terrible. I mean, no one really plays Dota in the US. The pro teams are subpar, some would say, compared to Europe. And yeah, most people play like League of Legends or like Call of
Right.
Duty, stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure the only reason any of my friends have ever played Dota is because I would just, try to convince them, and they play like one game a month just so they could play with me.
So does the meme about Counter-Strike scene in the United States translate to Dota as well?
Yeah. If you're European and you play Dota, it's like good for you. If you're from NA, it's not the greatest.
So I'm going to stick with you for a while. If you want to go, let's say, a little bit more competitive, as League of Legends player, go to Korea, right? Korean service to play. How does it go for United States when you want to up the level a little bit?
It's Europe right now, kind of for everyone. Even there's TI quals going on, and there's some Southeast Asian teams that just for a month, for no tournaments, nothing, they just fly to Europe so they can practice versus good teams just for a month.
Okay.
And even there's this player named Quinn, who's from North America, and he joined a European team, and he won 5 major tournaments in a row this entire year. They lost only 1 tournament all year.
Wow.
So,
Which was still a top 4.
and they got top 4 in that tournament.
Yeah.
Damn.
So,
Wow, that's really nice. How do you see, from the perspective of a caster, Vlad, how do you see the scene moving forward, the European scene compared to others?
From a caster perspective, I think it's quite interesting because you do get varied events, and obviously a lot of the regions love hosting Dota tournaments. I mean, even the majors that were mentioned, we've had majors in Bali, we've got majors in Europe. TI is finally going back to the United States this year, so hopefully from that perspective, maybe we'll generate more traction for NA. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But as a caster, is quite interesting because we have a talent pool that is very, very good. I'm quite proud of the Dota 2 talent, I have to be honest. But yeah, and people from all different backgrounds and continents and countries. But what Gunnar says is definitely true. And some of the changes that have happened over the last few years when it comes to talent are good overall for production quality, but at the same time it doesn't feel quite as good. Like I know last year for the International, which is the Dota 2 biggest annual event.
Yeah, we hosted it.
Yeah, exactly. Some of the, well, a big part of the talent pool was in a studio 700 kilometers away in Norway, while the event itself was in Singapore, and that was a decision made, to help with the fluidity of the event. But at the same time, you were in Norway live at 3-4 a.m. broadcasting something that happens in Singapore, and you know how those type of stuff are. So I definitely hope that this year, going back to Seattle, which is where Valve is from, that's not going to be an issue. But with that being said, it has been both for players and for talent over the years when Valve has hosted TI. It's a bit of a challenge to get the visa. A lot of players right now joking, oh yeah, we qualified, but we got one more qualifier. Can we get past the real one?
Right, my man. I just wanted to give you props for your suit, man. I just want to do that on live. I did it before, but
Thank
I'm going to
you.
do it now.
Thank you. I've got 1 or 2 more still prepared for the rest of the event. That's what I can say.
It takes one to know one, huh?
Yeah.
I'm wearing a white t-shirt. Unoriginal. Bakut, I'm going to move over to you now. How's the local scene in Kyrgyzstan on Dota 2?
Nowadays it's much better because around 5 years ago it was not that good. I mean, we have a lot of players, but they were like not really trusting in Dota career. They were just hobby, like playing for fun. But nowadays we got a lot of young people who really wants to start play real career. They taking this like seriously, and it's makes me happy. And also I'm trying to help them. I got like our escape. It's like Esports Federation, like not federation. It's like community, and I'm just trying to support our players, making tournaments and other stuff. Trying to teach them sometimes when I get time. So yeah.
Moving forward to that, I'm going to go a little bit deeper. Since we are now part of the federate model of doing events, how does the federation support the upcoming community and the upcoming players in Kyrgyzstan? Do you feel like you're supported towards your help?
Not that much, because in Kyrgyzstan you don't have like a lot of sponsors, a lot of money, so it's all about of money, because how you want to take support. Yeah.
Right, right. Well, that happens. That happens with sometimes Romania as well. I mean, we've all been down that hole where we need to support the talents because talents is they're never missing, right?
Yeah, but also second big problem it's like how to say, mm, like older people like parents all hates like computer games and all, you know, in Kyrgyzstan it's kind of hard to how to say,
Change the mentality.
yeah, change mentality. Maybe I did a lot for another players because everyone nowadays knows like, oh, it's good. It's not the gambling. It's not the yeah, because everyone before I don't know 5 years ago you're saying, ah, I'm keeper sportsman, I'm esports player, and they were, oh, you're a gambler or something like that. And all my parents, like all my family said, oh, you're winning now, but what you gonna do tomorrow or after years? And yeah, they were thinking the real game.
Yeah, the passion. Go ahead, Vlad. I know you want to say something.
I've got one for that because a lot of times I get parents asking me all the time, look, my 15-year-old is only playing video games. What am I gonna do? And my answer to that is a lot of the world has changed since, well, as recent as 5 years ago. But if you go back to when our parents were starting being parents, that was like 20, 23 years ago, even more for some of us. And the way I try to help them is by making them understand 10, 15 years ago, everybody that was a child wanted to be, well, stereotypically speaking, most girls would have loved to be on, TV, be actresses, and boys wanted to be athletes. Again, very stereotypical and not generally available. Of course, I've plenty of different career paths as well. But now that has completely shifted. You go to this young generation, and everybody wants to be a content creator, be it a streamer, be it a YouTuber, or a professional gamer. It's that instead of becoming a football player, American football or European football, they want to become a professional gamer. And it's the same path. Obviously, it's harder for parents to understand because gaming does take more commitment if you want to be the very best. Like, I don't know how many thousands of hours you guys have in Dota, but it's probably more hours than I've played volleyball in my life.
Yeah, you're right. And I think, Nico, moving over to you, I think this is a strong example because you were right. It's not really stereotypical because I remember in the 70s in the USA, every girl wanted to be in the cabaret, right? They wanted to go to the New York Times Square, be a cabaret, a dancer, right? And that was a noble job at the time. You went to the cabaret and everything was fine. As young adults, young boys wanted to be athletes. So how does this translate to USA? Because USA probably stands a little bit culturally above other countries.
I would say when I was in high school, some people thought it was kind of cool freshman year, but even like in my senior year, most people thought it was cool. Like people from my high school just be like, oh, how's the Dota going? You know, I was not really that good at the time, but my close friends would always try to hype it up for everyone. Even when we were just in like a high school league, they'd be like, oh, this guy's carrying us every game. Like he's so good. So I would say it's getting there. Like a lot of people think it's cool and it's not really like a weird thing to do to just play games all day.
There's not a stigma anymore.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Right. How about the difficulties that Kyrgyzstan is probably facing, as Bakut was saying? How about sponsors? How easy is it to get to form your new organization or to get one for your existing one?
It's pretty hard in North America. There's only 3 teams that are sponsored right now in Dota, and I'm one of them. And the team, I made this team 3.5 years ago, and we were a team for 2 years with no salary, no sponsorship or anything. And then so we finally got a sponsor a 1.5 years ago. And so, yeah, ever since then, it's been a lot easier to play. But that 1.5 years was a lot of, we got to win this online tournament, guys. You know, that's our only money we'll make for the next 2 months. Hope it's enough.
Yeah, I think we've all been there at some point in time, even with basketball, even with other things. I was discussing looking at the magnitude of this event. 111 countries are participating in this event, and look at the magnitude of it. We're at Vodafone Play Talks. Yeah, Vodafone is here sponsoring this event, and back in the day, right? We can say that now. I'm 28. I don't know about you guys. I'm 28, and back in my day, I used to play basketball, and you paid everything by yourself, the train, everything, and you didn't win anything. You were just competitive. Yeah. Moving to the competitive scene, is that still the drive for you, the competitiveness of Dota?
Yeah, I would say so. I'm here to win. Not it's like the money's probably part two to it. You know, I wouldn't say money doesn't matter, but it's a lot about trying to win and like prove yourself is really important to me.
Because it's really fragmented, right? There's a lot of talent in the scene. There's a lot of teams in the scene. And probably you want to up the name for the United States community and scene of Dota 2, right?
Yeah, it's fun because I played in North America for most of my career, but I've also traveled a lot. I played in Southeast Asia. I played in Europe, and a very short time in South America. So I pretty much have just not played in China as of now. So yet. We'll see. I don't know. That one's a hard region to just jump into.
Is it difficult?
It's just I don't speak any Chinese. There's one player who went to China this year, and he doesn't. I don't think he spoke any Chinese when Sumail went. So.
But I guess there is a precedent here with.
Take the mic.
I guess there is a precedent there with Black, but he's the only like Western player that like had to commit his life to learning Chinese and all of that, and obviously, like you mentioned,
There's Sumail this year.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready to get down into the depth of it, into Dota? Because I'm going to ask you about the meta.
The meta. Okay.
How does that, going forward, what do you think actually of the current meta? And does it suit your play style, Nico?
I think it's a little boring right now. The map got way bigger recently, so now everyone just kind of farms. And so if you run at them and you make a mistake and you die while running at them, you're dead for so long that they just farm everything for like 3 minutes straight, and then you just lose the game. So there's times where you watch the games and you're like, oh, this team has 20 kills, but they spent so long getting kills that the other team with like 5 kills is ahead. And so for my team, it's nice because we have Hector, and Hector just kind of carries all the games when we need him to. So I'm enjoying it for that reason. You know.
How about you, Bakut? How does it feel, the meta for you?
For me, it's super cool because position 4 gets like much more options and much more farm. Yeah, and also these side portals makes my game like more interesting. You can roam not only for mid. Before you're trying to roam only at mid, but sometimes you can go for side TPs, and it's cool.
Right. So it's actually towards your play style, right? As Nico was a little bit annoyed, you actually feel familiar with it and comfortable.
Yeah. Because also, as Gunnar said, everyone is farming, but I like to catch people, and it's my like best option which I love. So when people are farming, they're much easier to catch them and kill them. So yeah.
That's a strong standpoint, my man. Tell us a little bit about biggest challenges that you've overcome in your career, in your Dota 2 career. What are the biggest challenges that you had to overcome?
I don't know. Maybe just not understanding the question. Challenge.
Okay.
What?
So during your whole career, what was the tough point, the turning point for you once you hit a wall, or what was the challenges ahead in your role?
I guess it's like joining Team Secret, because it was a bit hard for me because my English wasn't that good, and also that team was a bit like still have problems a lot, and we tried to fix it. So yeah, it was a tough moment in my career because also, you know, I was on peak like in 2019, and after quarantine starts, I had a bit
downfall.
Yeah, downfall, and after this downfall, I got a chance to play with a great team, and it was real tough because I was thinking, oh my God, if I'm not gonna shine now, so everyone's like, my respect's going down, everyone's thinking I'm like doing nothing, and it was like this mindset like comes back to me. So I was thinking, yeah, this time I need to go and win. Also, I can remember when I left Navi, it was really tough because Navi fans attacks me a lot. There is also like same situation. I was thinking I joined Virtus Pro, and Navi like I broke the contract, and it was a bit like not good from my point. I did mistakes. So, and after that fans attacks me, I was thinking, yeah, if I'm gonna lose now, they're gonna hate me very, very hard. So yeah, but we won a lot with Virts Pro, so it was like okay.
Well, you did prove everybody wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can't judge champions. Like, yeah, if you are a winner, you can do whatever you want.
Definitely. I think from boxing, Tyson Fury, I'm sure you're aware of that name, was saying nobody wants to sit next to a loser, right? That happens, that translates in the chat as well every time. The chat is ruthless nowadays, as we well know. But moving over to that aspect, because you're already the face of the chat, Vlad, right? Right? In front of the chat actually, and they're seeing you all the time, and you're actually seeing them as well.
Yeah.
Right? How do you see the community moving forward towards the new scene of Dota 2 and taking it from there up?
Well, it's a great point of conversation because we recently just had last night we had an update that's kind of catered towards trying to help the community become better. I mean, it just happened, so I think it will take some time to see if that affects at least the in-game aspect of the Dota community. But it's very interesting because from the inside, it feels like the Dota community is not the healthiest community. I might say even slightly toxic.
What do you mean?
But you do get these charts made by whoever, and it's like, oh, the top 20 most toxic games, and Dota is not there, and you're like, oh, maybe we're not doing that bad. I think when it does come with the way the audience sees you, I think as a player or overall in general, this is sort of your job, but you can't please everybody. That's one of the things you have to keep in mind. You can't please everybody, and you got to stick true to yourself. I mean, obviously, if you're a bad person, maybe you should become a better person. But as long as you get a reaction, I think that's fine, because that means people are invested in you. If people are upset with you because you betrayed someone, I mean, maybe don't betray someone, but at the same time, they're invested in you and your story and your journey. The moment when people stop caring about you, that's when you should maybe reconsider, ooh, is that what I wanted? There's no more negative feedback, but there's no feedback at all.
Right. Well, definitely, I just wanted to subscribe to what you just said. Even though there were haters out there, they're still supporting you in a way, right? So that only looks good in the future. You can turn those into your own followers.
Yes, that's in Kyrgyzstan we have 5 million, maybe 6 million
People?
Yeah, people. And when I started winning and playing in Vega Squadron, it was like first my tier 2 professional team. So everyone in Kyrgyzstan were supporting me, and the real fans, because I were like just walking in my city, Bishkek, and everyone's like, oh, hello, it's you, oh my God. And these fans always supports me. I'm losing, I lost some TI quals 0-8, and everyone, oh, anyways, you're so good. And it's so cool, yeah. That people like motivating me a lot.
Yeah, home crowd is amazing always towards their own. Yeah. Nico, what was your toughest moment to overcome so far in your career as a Dota 2 pro?
It's been a couple. If I had to pick one,
Top 5.
yeah, probably TI 9 qualifiers. That was when I was in Southeast Asia. So I played on a team with some Koreans, and we got to grand finals. We were only a team for like 2 weeks, and the environment of the team was really fun. The in-game communication was always really funny. We just talked in like memes and stuff the whole game, and we kind of I think we surprised ourselves with how good we did, because most of their teams in scrims, when you practice other teams, you have like a 50% win rate at best, or like slightly lower, because you practice stuff, people don't try as hard. It's like hard to be as good in scrims as you are in like tournaments. And on that team, we had we only scrimmed Chinese teams, which at the time, it was like the best region in Dota. And we had like an 87% win rate. And so we kind of all started to get like expectations, and we got to the grand finals to qualify. And we were up 2-1 in a best of 5. All we had to do was win the fourth game, and we kind of hit the throw button, and we threw the game because we could have just roached, and then we would have won the game in 5 minutes. But we're like, nah, guys, let's go end the game right now, and we could not end the game right then, and then we lost that game, and then the 5th game, some people were very tilted, and then the 5th game wasn't really that close, so that was
just for that one decision.
Yeah.
That's what Dota is, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one tough cookie right there.
Yeah.
Let's move over a little bit towards, let's say, a more personal perspective, right? I don't want to get too intrusive, right? But we've all got friends, we've all got some stuff to deal with back at home, right? But taking that into perspective, how's your social life being a pro player, right? Does it translate well to your social? Do you have time for your friends?
It depends. I wouldn't say it's bad. I think I met a lot of people through Dota that I'm friends with now. And I just like, usually whenever you're on a team, you're just really good friends with your team. And you also spend a lot of time with your team all day. Like I'll spend probably like at least 8 hours every day talking to my team. Either we're playing together or we're just like talking about Dota. Whenever I'm home, I hang out with my high school friends still. I stream a lot, so I'm generally just very busy, but I'll take time off to hang out with people if I'm at tournaments or if I'm at home. So it's good, I would say.
We've had Mike Anderson from Fit Gamer. I'm sure you've done some workshops with him back in the player area, where he's a big believer of physical health and also mental health in some aspects of it. How important do you think that is for pro players in order to have a healthy mind and a healthy body as well, translating it into the game as well?
I think it's important. Our team has a sports psychologist, so we've been working with him. That's for the mental. I think everyone on our team goes to the gym too, so yeah, we got that stuff covered.
You got that covered, huh?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm gonna move over to you, Vlad, because I know you're big on physical, right? Big on physical health and so forth. How important do you think it is for players nowadays, but especially upcoming players that spend all night long grinding and grinding, not even coming close to these guys at a pro level? They just want to be there in time.
Yeah, I think physical health and mental health connection is very, very important. And I would say you should allocate as little as time as you can in a day, but you got to do it consistently. And it doesn't have to be every day, but you got to find that rhythm for you to keep yourself active and keep yourself, keep the blood going. And Gunnar was just telling me, I mean, one of his teammates is absolutely jacked. And I am looking at some of these young Counter-Strike guys, and obviously there's a stigma of the gamer that is not the healthiest person. But I think that has definitely changed, at least over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, where most tier 1 teams or organizations, even tier 2 teams, are giving you a strict schedule, strict programs. And yes, there's a lot of influence. They're coming in from China, from Korea, but it's great influence. And I think if you could get in a gym, if you could play a sport at least. Some people don't like going to the gym, but yeah, just even if you could go walk, that's absolutely amazing. I mean, that's why the gamers and the professional gamers have some of the best reflexes in the world. And you got to keep that going. And obviously, if you stay fit and healthy, you can prolong your career for more and more years to come.
Right. Throughout Bakut, throughout the organizations that you have been playing through, how important was that aspect for you guys? Did they enforce that upon you, saying it's really important to do that in order to be healthy in your career as well?
Yeah, I'm sure. Like overall, you need to get healthy body, because you can sometimes. I was thinking you can trade like your health for your like work, for career, and sometimes you can ask yourself like, for what I'm doing this? Like I'm dying for this game, I'm getting money, okay, but it's not good. In one point you can stuck with that like big problems in your health, and you're gonna be like unmotivated or you get low energy. So yeah, this connections with mental body and mental and your health, I mean body health, it's very important. Also it's gives you a confidence. Sometimes you can like feel your body and you're okay, I'm fine. You're lost the game, but who cares? Like,
yeah, I'm healthy and I can go on. I can do this again. I can be in that position again. I'm right there with you. What advice would you give to young people, up and coming players in Kyrgyzstan, moving up towards you, seeing you as a model, and not only Kyrgyzstan, all over the world, because you're big on the scene, and probably they would like an advice from you.
If you really want to become a professional players, you need to, at first, you need discipline. It's very, very important. You can be a talent player, you can be like genius, but discipline makes you much, much better. I started playing from 14, 15 years, trying to be a professional player. and I was thinking I'm not talented. I was so bad at micro, and I was thinking I tried to play mid, but I just joined support because I was thinking I'm so bad. So to play this core position, and after a long time, I just become a good player at micro, and because you're just working at yourself, you're just doing better and better and better and better, and that's it. Sometimes you just need more time. Yeah, people are like too forcing things, too forcing to be good, too forcing to be happy. I mean, too forcing to be rich, and it's very important to take this discipline and make sure you're not like trading much your like health or something else, and yeah.
So in the end, it's not so different from other sports, traditional sports. Let's say like
Yeah.
boxing, football. It's discipline and grinding.
Also, I was thinking about of difference. In the normal usual sports, you can take a big like how to say it, traumas, like injuries.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking like you can be a basketball player, like super good player, and if you're not gonna take care about of your health, you can just like break your knees and
Yeah.
that's it. In Dota 2, I think you just need to be care about of your mental, because sometimes you can get like mental damage, and after you get apathy. You can play Dota, you get like sick a bit, and that's like analogy, You can also take a mental damage, and that's it. That's why you need to spend time sometimes with your friends, with your family, and it helps for me at least.
Well, I'm sure everybody heard it from you here, and considering their own careers, they should be balanced in everything they do and have the right discipline in order to maybe sometime follow in your footsteps, in your guys' footsteps, right? Even for the broadcaster desk. I mean, nowadays jobs are so different and so fragmented that you would not only aspire to be an athlete, probably you would want to be behind a caster desk, just showcasing people, right? What advice would you give, Vlad, to people that would want to be behind that desk?
I'll go a bit beyond that, because I think I'm a bit advocate of, I can't become a pro gamer. Similar to like Zayac said, some people have the talent and there's plenty out there. Some people just don't have the time, or they don't have the talent to make it. But if you love esports, if you love gaming, there's so many opportunities for you to get a career. And obviously, public speaking and learning how to be in front of a camera, how to tell a narrative and a storyline is very key. But that's not where it ends. The magic you see on screen, it's only created by hundreds and maybe thousands of people in some of these production teams behind the scenes, from graphic designers to stage managers, sound mixing. And if you are gonna want to be part of esports, but you're not gonna become a player, and you maybe don't have the confidence or the passion for working the camera, there's still a place and a space for you to join the esports community and do something else and contribute in different ways. So that is a key element. And obviously you mentioned balance, and we've got Ember Spirit that would say balance in all things. But on top of that, just to add a bit on what Zayac said here, I think being an overall good human being is key, especially if you aspire to join and work in a team. And yes, there's lots of jobs out there unrelated to esports that are quite lonely. But if you want to be part of the esports community, and be it as a player, as a caster, or anything else, you will have to be a good person, because you spend so much time with those people, like Gunnar just said, like at least hours a day, 8 hours a day. And if you're not a good person, who's going to want to be around you, right?
Yeah, definitely. And we've seen it at this event as well. We've seen so many people involved, production people, stage, as you've mentioned. You can actually follow your dream and still play the game.
Yeah,
Right?
definitely.
Still play the game. Nico, what do you say to people on your stream that want to follow you on probably not your footsteps, because everybody has a different journey, but that want to have probably close to your start, or a chance at least?
I think the important thing that I didn't do, but I would recommend to everyone, is like kind of diversify what you're doing. Like if you're in school, make sure you still get good grades, which I was not that good at. I stopped caring about school at some point in high school. I still got into college, so I made sure that I would get into college and that I would have like an out if I needed, kind of. But even once you try to get into the pro scene, trying to get I wouldn't say like backup plans, but be like, for me, I stream. So it's like if my pro career just I got for some reason I could just never play pro again, I'd be able to fall back on my stream. And I've also done like talent work, so like I could also go to talent work if I need to. So my advice would just to don't put all eggs in one basket, because I think if you do that, then and it doesn't end up working out, that you kind of are stuck with nothing to do. And it's also important that another lesson I learned was that as a player, you're kind of also a brand. So it's important to brand yourself, kind of be a person, because not only for like sponsors and for the public eye, even for potentially finding teammates, if no one knows who you are, no one can be like, hey, let's play together, you know, like you're really good, because they can't know you're good if they don't know who you are.
Yeah, you mentioned there a really strong point about education, right?
Yeah.
Because some of the initiatives of the International Esports Federation here was education. It's on the list with mental health and so forth. And I believe that's a really big factor, because exactly as you said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You need to have some outs at some point. You need to fall back on something. I mean, everybody has to support themselves and their families in some way, right? That's what we do right now. But looking towards the future, what do you think is the most important thing for a player to succeed once you've reached that status?
Like once they're already kind of in the scene?
Yeah, probably. Best fit would be, what should you focus on once you're in the scene?
I'd say Dota in particular is a very like small scene at the top. A lot of the players know each other, so kind of once you get in there, it's a little different these days. In the past, once you kind of got to the top, you just jump around teams, and no matter if you got really bad, you'd still kind of end up on teams just because people knew your name. Nowadays, I'd say there's a lot of newer faces that kind of show up, and the teams that people would consider like, oh, they're just a Division 2 team, kind of are improving, and they're starting to get to the top. So it's not really this like kind of old man's game in terms of, you know, the guys who were like playing back in 2013. It's kind of like a new cycle. But I would say it's learning how to work with people and communication, because these days the individual skill is pretty similar. There's not many players who, back in the day, they were pub stars, and they were just 1v5 for the team, and you could just like, oh, Sumil, just win me this tournament. He'd win you the tournament. And nowadays, I think everyone's pretty similar skilled, and so it's a lot about who you play with, how you work together, and just actually having a real team rather than just 5 individual players.
Right. So to rather focus on being a better team, you would have to pay attention to others around you more, right?
Yeah, it's really hard because the game is very stressful. The games go really long. People have very different opinions on the game. So it's in the game and out of the game, it's making sure that you hear other people's ideas, that you get your ideas out in like a healthy way, that you're not just trying to like, I'm right, you're wrong to people. It's just pretty much something some of my teammates say that I've heard is like, you're effectively in a relationship with everyone on your team, and you have to, it's like, you know, you're dating everyone on your team in some way, right? You're with them so much that you have to be able to treat each other like with respect. And it's also some level that you can't, everything isn't emotional. Like if people are saying stuff like, oh, you did this wrong, it's not because they're like, oh, he's so bad, I want to make him feel bad. It's because you want him to improve and you want to work together to be better together.
How does the coach come into all of this, and your mental coach as well?
So our real coach, Asini, he's I say real because he's like our more Dota focused coach. He does more work in like drafting heroes, and if people have big issues, they can bring it to him, and he'll kind of, you know, help between players. And I would say that job is also more taken over by Edward, who's our sports psychologist. He's a lot of, if people have communication issues, they talk to him. He'll kind of check in. We have like kind of like weekly or bi-weekly calls where he'll be like, hey, how was your feeling about this last week or last 2 weeks? Like, did anyone do something that made you feel bad? Or it's kind of like, you know, couples therapy kind of thing sometimes. So yeah, it's a lot of just making sure people feel heard, I think is really important, because sometimes people will say stuff and then people will disagree with them, but they won't do it in the right way. So then they'll just keep kind of repeating and hope like, I guess they didn't hear me that time, I guess I got to say it again. And then that stuff always ends up bad because people's feelings get hurt.
I was always wondering, at the highest level, do you guys tilt? Of course, yeah, you just said me, but you always look so calm. Everybody has the expectation from a professional player to be so solid and so cold in the game and so focused every time. Do you guys tilt? Do you guys have feelings?
Or this guy's feelings. If you ever watch him play, he like gets out of his chair, starts screaming at the other team. The other team can't hear him, and he'll still like yell for like fun. Yeah.
You know, I had that moment. You're joining teams. You know, it's like I start playing from Bishkek lands. You know, when I was young, it's like, and I understand it helps me to like you get high pressure, and sometimes you need to refocus. You know, and I like to use sometimes to drink water or give fist bumps with your like teammates. And sometimes when I start screaming, I'm sure I'm gonna win this game. That's it. I'm super confident at this time, and and sometimes you know you can when you're joining team, and even when I joined Team Secret, it was like you're a bit like, oh my god, how to like how to show yourself and other. And when we became to first LAN, I was saying for myself like all the time, just be yourself, don't give a fuck. Oops. But
okay.
yeah, just be yourself, do whatever you want, and it helps me to feel natural. Yeah, that's why I start when I'm owning, and also I like to make show for people at LANs. You know, I was stuck for 2 years in because of COVID and other stuff. And when I became to Riyadh at last year, it was like, oh my god, I was super like excited. Oh my god, it's
People again.
Yeah, people again. And everyone's watching these games everywhere, cameras, and I just like to like sometimes it also helps, you know, when you're screaming and this crowd might scream with you, and this crowd might tilt them. Yeah.
So your emotions translate to audience as well, to people that will support you again and again. How difficult is it for you to keep calm during tough situations in game?
You know, sometimes it's Dota 2. I guess it's mental game, because if you start thinking you're gonna lose this game, you already lost this game.
Lose,
Yeah. And for me, I can catch up my like this, you know, monologue in your head.
Yeah.
Sometimes we were playing this tournament. We were losing to Shwed team, and I catch like for 5 or 10 seconds. I were like, we were playing, we are losing, and if we're gonna lose this game, we're gonna drop off this tournament. And for 5 seconds, I were like thinking, oh my god, we are so bad. And after this, my monologue continues like, okay, maybe we deserve to lose this game. And after this, you know, I got strong voice in my head. It says like, what? No, it's not gonna happen. You're much better than them, and you start like focusing on why you're gonna win. Sometimes, and I was thinking, oh no, I'm gonna carry this game. I see, okay, some like teammates might choking, but I'm gonna win this game. I'll give them confidence, my confidence. You know, because of this team tilt, it's kind of hard. You know, everyone's silenced, and you can. It's much easier to be like patient, like, and also tilt with them. But I was thinking, if you had that energy, you can come back this. That's why I'm screaming also, because when I see my teammates like just closing this mouse and like doing nothing, I'm after one even kill, any comeback, I start screaming for them, so they can scream also, maybe talk, maybe something. Yeah.
Sometimes that's so funny. I heard something recently, and I heard it from one of the Romanian players, actually. Being a local myself, some of them just screamed when they played. I can't remember right now, probably Hungary. Someone screamed, I'm going to buy you tickets next to the window in the airplane. Go home. that was so funny for me. It's also the humor part of it, right? And that really helps sometimes. Maybe your colleagues, your players, they watch you and see you're such in a good mood, and you're screaming at the players, you're funny maybe at the same time, and that brings up the mood, lightens the mood, right? How about in your team, Nico? Do you have like, are you the one that brings the probably a little bit more fun to the situations in general, stressful ones?
I would want to say so, but since we got Hector, no. Hector's the funny guy. Like, whenever we're losing games, he'll start just, like, laughing about everything. Like, if someone dies, he's like, oh, no, don't die, please, don't die. And, like, the game's, like, over, you know? But he's just, like, laughing about, like, he knows that you're going to die, and he's just trying to make you laugh that you're going to die. So he's definitely the funny guy in the team. Like, he talks a lot in our games. And, like, even at this tournament, he's not here, but we just quote the stuff he says because it's just so funny all the time. And English isn't his first language, so he just says, like, he has, like, a funny accent. And it's just, like, the whole thing is just... He's a great guy. He's very fun to play with.
He's a natural, right?
Yeah. He's one of the guys who he doesn't really care about anything. He's like, I just want to play the game. Like we were setting up our boot camp in New York, and we had Ethernet like cable issues, so our manager had to like wire the Ethernet cable and everything. Like spend like 20-30 minutes trying to do it, and the whole time he's like, can you just turn my internet on, please, so I can play the game? And he's like, I'm doing it for everyone at the same time. He's like, no, but just mine faster. Because he just wanted to play. He didn't want to not play Dota for like 30 minutes. It was too long without playing the game.
Wow, that's passion.
Yeah, he really likes the game.
Hector seems like a really cool guy.
He's very fun, yeah.
Is it fun to play with these kind of characters in your team, to have somebody that you know? I have someone that is never going to get tilted, never going to be upset. He's there to support the team always because, as you said, Bucket, if it starts with one, everybody could take that tilt and everybody could take that silence, right?
Yeah, a lot of the teams I've been on usually try to have like a funny guy. They just end up being more successful, I'd say, to just have like a clown on the team. Yeah, right? Because it's before the games, they like say some stupid stuff and you're just like, okay, like we can go play this game. And after the games, like he's like, oh, don't worry, guys, we got this. And so they kind of always try to make the mood feel better. And in the games, it usually feels more chill. Because when you have a lot of people who are the more laid back, like it is what it is kind of thing in the games, if it gets hard and no one knows what to say, then it can get really quiet and kind of somber.
So that happens top level as well, not only in the smaller teams.
Yeah, I would say a lot of the top teams have at least one clown on the team.
You agree
I
with
would
that,
think so.
Bucket? You agree with that?
Yeah, I guess. Also, I was thinking for myself, okay, just who cares, you're a clown or not? Don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I get you. I'm right there. I was always curious about pro players. Definitely, I've never and will never be a pro player, but I'm watching you guys on streams at events such as this as well. What is the moment when you're in front of 7,000, more than 7,000 people watching you? Do you feel the emotion coming towards the stage? Do you feel their emotions?
Not that much. No, it's for me. It's harder before match starts. This part. It's this waiting. Sometimes it's might a bit like I don't know, damage you or just like taking a lot of energy. Because when you start playing, it's okay. You're just in the game. You're refocused. You don't see them. You don't. Maybe sometimes I felt. I know last year it wasn't like cabins. We were in open space, and my hairs on. I mean, everyone went screaming. My hairs,
Goosebumps. Huh?
Yeah, goosebumps, and I were like, wow, because of no cabins. And this like I understand why arena like how it works. If you're at the middle, everyone screams. It's like.
The vibes,
yeah. And these things might a bit refocus you, yeah. But overall, you're not thinking about, you're not watching. I like to watch at people when I'm doing crazy good stuff, like refocus to like, oh, hello guys, I'm here. Yeah, and after it, I'm just became, okay, what's now? Yeah.
Okay. So being at top level, was it natural for you to be so comfortable and to get into the game so comfortably? Was it natural for you, or do you have to train this?
Yeah, you need to train. It's kind of easy when you're winning or you're in good position on the game. Yeah, it's kind of easy, I guess, for maybe most of people. But sometimes even this might like crush you because you're too winning how to end the game, and this kind of things might damage you. For me, I were training like to play with 0-5. I were thinking, who cares? I start game 0-5, but at minute 40, if game will end, I mean will continues, I'm gonna come back. I'll do this. I'm not watching in KDA. I don't care. That helps me a lot. But yeah, I were training this. Sometimes I were like joining pubs and like I don't care. I'm just playing Dota, even trying everything. And after game I can watch. Okay, 2-11. Okay, not that good, but anyways, I didn't felt like I played bad. I didn't focus on the like on this. Yeah.
So looking at those stats, even though they're bad, might impact a player, right? If he's looking, he's gonna see, oh wait, I'm way behind. I'm way behind. It's gonna be impactful, right? I mean, that's gonna play a toll on your players, right? On your colleagues.
Yeah, but my position is not that like you can you can die a lot, and it's not that bad, because it's space creating. I'm sure Gunnar can't do that, like playing 0-5 and after like, oh, I'm gonna crash. Yeah, it's kind of hard on core positions. I forgot the question.
It's fine. It's definitely, if you look at the stats sometimes, yeah, as a player, even myself when I'm playing, I'm mainly a Counter-Strike global offensive player, Counter-Strike in general. And I look at the scoreboard and I'm like last one on the scoreboard. I'm 1-10. It plays, it's bad for me, right? I'm going to look at myself even worse. And I'm going to say, as you said earlier, this game is lost. Does it happen with you pro players as well?
Yeah, sometimes, but you need to refocus, because you need to think about Dota. This monologue don't help you. Like you just need to throw away. You just need to okay, what I'm gonna do now, and that's it. Also, I remember first game on TI at 2019, I were winning OG with Shadow Demon, and I were killing Notail 3 or 2 times, maybe something like that. And I got killing spree, I guess, at minute 5, and it kills me because I were like, oh my God, I'm too good, and start, impression, it kills me, and I start feeding. After that, and I will start thinking, oh my God, I was 3-0, now I'm 3-2, and that's why it's kind of bad to focus, even if you're winning, even if you got 10-0, don't focus, who cares? Like, you're playing game, you need to keep calling, like, it's not helping you, It's not about the scores. It's not about you need to kill Tron, that's it. Yeah.
Vlad, in your so many games casted so far, you have a chance to have an overview of everything that happens in the game, right?
Yep.
And you also see the faces of the players, right? How does all of these examples translate to your experience in seeing those players be affected by stats, be affected by not getting anything done by minute 40, let's say, as Bucket said earlier?
I think it's all about player mentality, and some players just have the championship winning mentality, and some of the players do get affected that they have a bad game, and then they will jump onto map 2 and realize, yeah, that's not me, and I'm good enough, and I'll prove this, and I'll show everybody, especially the opponents that are much better than them. And you get a mid player that kind of didn't have the best game mid, and they show up map 2 and they dominate the lane, they do everything that's needed in their power, and that happens across the multitude of esports, because you do get your players that suddenly have a slump and they do go 2-14 in a Counter-Strike game as well, and then it doesn't matter. That's how you can tell that is a solid player. Everybody has an off day, everybody has an off game. Obviously, ideally, it wouldn't be in a grand final scenario, and it shouldn't be when you're about to get eliminated, but it happens, and it's only up to you to realize, okay, how do I bounce back after this? Do I have to bounce back now because I've got 2 more maps to play, or do I need to bounce back mentally, morally over the next couple of months and get ready for the next season?
How does that do for you and your team? You mentioned a really nice example, Nico. You once created a mixed team that got really far in one of the biggest tournaments in the scene, right? How was it? Was it necessarily a mixed team? Am I saying it correctly?
Yeah, it was 3 Koreans and then 1 kid from Thailand.
Okay. How was the general mood with all the mix of cultures and everything going on at the time? Even your synergies were kind of new, right?
Yeah.
How does that translate it into your game? Were you paying attention to every detail, or you were playing Dota, as Bakut said, don't matter about anything else?
It was definitely just play the game kind of thing. On that team, it almost never felt like we were going to lose, like no matter the situation. Even like to this day, I try to think like that. Like the second the game starts, it's like you can only see the monitor. You can't see anything outside the monitor. And then there will be games where the game will end and I'll look at my score and I'm like 2-8 or something. And in the game, I don't feel like I'm 2-8. I don't even realize it's that bad till the game ends. I'm like, oh, I was feeding. I guess that's a bad thing. And so a lot of the time for me, I try to just, because especially these days, Dota's it's hard to win, honestly, a lot of the games. Like, it's just hard for the winning team to actually, like, win the game cleanly. And so if you always try to find that, like, 1 or 2%, you can find it more than 1 or 2% because the other team are also humans, so they're going to make mistakes. And so you could always be like, oh, they're going to win 99% of the time, but because of human error, it's going to be less. And maybe you do something really cool and it gets higher. So never give up.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
That makes for a great show.
Definitely. Definitely. I have a fun one for you guys because I'm really dying to know, what other games do you play more often when you're not playing Dota 2, but you have a favorite one apart from Dota? What do you play, Nico?
I don't know if I have a favorite other game. Usually when I don't play Dota, I'm streaming. So I'll just stream whatever single player game is popular. Hollow Knight, I guess, if I had to say a different game. It's a really fun
Recognizable.
game. And then from time to time, I'll play just other like competitive games. Like some of my friends play CS, I'll play that. Or I played Valorant for like 2 months. So whatever. I just play a lot of games, honestly. I kind of play games all day. So whatever's popular.
So, like myself, I hop on any hype train that I find right now, right? Like the one single player Hogwarts just came up, it was my childhood, right?
Yeah.
That's the same case for you?
Yeah, pretty much. Especially because I stream. If you want to stream, you always have to play like whatever's new, because that gets the most attention. So, pretty much for me, my schedule is like, I play Dota because even though I'm in North America, I only play Europe pubs, because the practice in like Europe ranked is just way better than North America. So, for me, I can't really play Dota after 8 p.m. when I'm home, just because it's like too late for Europe. And so after 8 p.m., I just can kind of play whatever I want.
Oh, so that fits extremely well with your
Yeah,
stream.
so I just stream Dota from whenever I wake up to 8 p.m. And then after that, I just play whatever game I feel like for the next like 2-3 hours.
Most of the times, Vlad, caster don't really play, not most of the times, actually in some of the times, casters don't really play the game that they're casting so much, right? They're so familiar with it, they've seen so much of it, that they don't really need to play, right? Do you play a lot of Dota?
Yeah, I think I think I've also had a period in which I don't play lots of the other games. For example, I did get Hogwarts Legacy. I think I played like 5 hours of that, and I just haven't finished the game. It's just downloaded on Steam. But I do love playing the competitive games, and it just gives me a bit of a rewarding feeling. It's that competitive feeling that I have in myself, and Valorant, Counter-Strike, Dota. But I would say I play probably more than an average person that's of my age, with a regular job. So I would say, but I do also know a lot of talent that don't have the time for it, because being a very good talent requires a lot of research, a lot of VOD reviews, and that's a lot for the pro players as well. You spend so much time just watching the game and watching yourself play to know what you did wrong. So when you have to do that, but for every single team or every single player, and know, obviously with all the competitive games that are currently top tier esports, patches happen relatively often, and when you cover multiple games like I do, it's not hard, but it takes more time to stay on top of the meta for 3 esport titles or 5 esport titles other than just a single one. And you got to play the game, I believe, for you to get a sense at least of what is actually working, because theory is something else, but when you put it in practice, that's when the results show.
Yeah, that's very well said. Very well said. You cover many titles, as you said, right? What's the most competitive one right now that you are dying to just step into that fully, or is it not the case for you?
I think right now, and probably for the last 12 months or so, I've rediscovered my passion for Dota. I think I've went through maybe COVID. It was a bit of a low for my Dota presence, and that kind of coincided with Valorant coming out, and I did put a lot of hours into that. But I think it has to be Dota over the last 12 months or so, and I think maybe Sooner than later, when Counter-Strike 2 comes out, hopefully a bit of that. But as of right now, it's got to be Dota. I think the game is in a very interesting spot, and it could go two ways from here. It could go up or down, and if it's gonna go down, at least we might enjoy it as well. How long it lasts, yeah.
Bucket, I was just wondering, if you had a chance right now, it's your choice if you want to look into the camera or not. What message would you transmit to the other teams present here at the event? May it be a threat, may it be an encouraging message. What message would you give to the teams present here at the event?
Everyone who's still playing, good luck. Everyone who's lost, don't be sad. Like, go to the gym, go walk, and everything is fine. So, yeah, have a good days.
Enjoy the concerts, right?
Yeah. Enjoy the concert. See ya.
Since we're gonna mention concerts and the fun part, are you excited about concerts and what's next at the event?
To be honest, I don't care. But one of my teammate really wants to watch Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm very excited because of him.
I think Tom Odell, right?
Tom Odell, yeah. Tom Odell, yeah.
And no Armin van Buren?
What?
It's actually really fun for me. So we have I'm just gonna go trivial because some people might not know, right? As Bucket here. Armin van Buren, I hope I said his name correctly, and I think it is, yeah. It's one of the biggest DJs for Tea House in the world, Techno House, right? And he's gonna play here, I think, on Friday. Can help me with that, Vlad, yeah? On the 1st, which is tomorrow.
I'll keep
Enjoy that. Try it. You might like it.
Maybe. I don't like that much. Like super raves is bam 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 bam. But sometimes it's fun. Yeah. It's more about of people who's with you. Like yeah.
Just to get the stress away and everything. It might work. Yeah. Who knows? How about you, Vlad? What are you looking forward towards the most?
Well, I think it has to be the grand finals. PUBG Mobile started already, and I'm quite proud of the Romanian team getting third place, finally a medal. I'm really looking forward to Sunday with all of the grand finals. But you mentioned outside of the actual gaming, so obviously I'm a Romanian myself, and I haven't been home in 2 years in Romania, so it's good to be here, and I'm quite happy to have the chance of sharing some experiences of Iași and Romania with a lot of people being here for maybe the first time, and some of the other talent, even some players and coming and asking me to help them or giving them suggestions where to go around. I mean, I'm not from this part of the country itself, but I've enjoyed exploring the city as well, and the party should be great. I mean, a 3-day closing ceremony. When did we ever hear of that in esports? Let's do more of that.
I don't know. Let's give some props to the International Federation for putting that up for us.
Yeah. It's going to be a blast. I can't wait. Hopefully, the players that are still playing are going to give us a show on Sunday. That's what I'm still hoping for.
Yeah, I think the audience is gonna be so full in both the artists that are playing on stage and also the finals. Have you guys seen the whole crowd staying up until 2 a.m.? How about that, Nico? How about 7K people? 2% of the population of this city being in front of the people. Also, full Dota stage as well, full main stage as well. How was that?
It was nice. The funniest was when we'd play like midday, so the sun was really, really hot, and so there was like some shade, and so as the games would play on, the shade would move through the crowd, and so you'd see everyone like be very compressed in the shade, and then just as it goes on, the middle of the crowd would be filled, and then eventually the right would start to get filled. But like at the beginning, people were like sitting on the stairs; they're all just clumped up. So
did that kid just teleported over there?
Yeah, it was very fun to watch because you just see you're like, I see exactly, and then the game would end, and you look up and you're like, oh, that's where the sun is now.
You looking forward towards any kind of thing, the after parties maybe, the event, the concerts?
Probably. I'm not really sure. My whole team's at a LAN cafe right now, I think, already playing Dota. So, yeah, they're enjoying their time here. I think we talked about maybe going to like laser tag or something too. So, when they leave the LAN cafe, I'm sure we'll find something fun to do as a team.
One last thing for you guys, because we're coming to an end of our little talk. I'm just going to ask about the context of the event so far. We have big events, right? We have big events that are happening throughout the world that involve only the sports that they're promoting on stage and so forth. But here, on a more federate level, let's say, of an organized event, you have so many booths to do. You have airsoft, you have a lot of food, you have a lot of other things to do. People are gathering and visiting everything around here. Do you feel that this should be the right context for an esports event as well? Does it have a future behind it?
And I can take it first if you want to think about this. Because I have thought about this, and I think I really like the style of IESF, and for me this feels like the equivalent of the Olympics. Right, most of the esports, when we have LANs in Dota, we're pretty secluded from everybody else, with small exceptions here and there. When you do go to anything that Valve does, be it Counter-Strike or Dota, you're not really gelling with the other talent or the other players. So you are with your family, be it a team or production team or the larger Dota community, and you don't often get the chance to share ideas, to meet other people and other casters, other players from those games, and just spend the time together. So I think it's definitely something that I definitely enjoy, and I will miss a lot until next time, of course, because this has been a great experience, and obviously getting the chance to even see some new games that I wasn't even aware how big those scenes are, and I've been completely overwhelmed with all the audience watching and supporting all of that. And to be completely honest with you, I did not know the Dota audience in Romania was so big. Like, maybe with a couple of exceptions, we've had more than half a full house in the audience, and it's been amazing. Even when we got games that were still going on at 12:30 at night, people were there, people were cheering whenever you would interact with them. So I've been pleasantly surprised, and I think it's a great way of bringing the esports community together overall. Yeah.
Right. How about you, Nico? Were you impressed with the attendance and the presence of people that were watching you play?
Yeah, I was impressed. It was really fun because there's a lot of players as well. Because I met all the USA players, so it was really cool to kind of meet the other games from your country. I played at also like there's like been Dream Hacks where it's kind of the same thing, where it's like a kind of a festival, and like I played a tournament where it was like we were right next to the CS stage. So when the CS players would get like hyped with the casters, we'd hear it while we're playing our Dota game. And I think it's always really fun because there's all this stuff going on to do. But I also think there's something special about like the one game tournaments as well, because it feels like everyone's there just for the one thing, and like everyone you talk to is there for Dota, and so everyone is they just only care about the one game, and so it feels it's like a very different thing. I would say it's like more special and like specific, whereas this is like you just have a good time, I would say.
Right. Which one would you prefer? I'm just going to stick with you for a while. Which one would you prefer? What's more to your liking? The one thing or the more of the things that you're finding around here?
Probably the one thing, just because there's like a more of a chance that my friends and the people I know will be there, because they're usually like bigger for the scene. And so it's kind of just like you'll know more people who are going, and it's especially for like Dota, there's a lot of like the more special events because they're hosted by Valve, like the international, it's like only for Dota. So I would say if I had to pick, it would be the like one game tournaments.
Right. How about you, Baku? Do you like the context here or what Nico prefers?
Yeah, I'm sure like it's much better when everyone's like coming. I mean, people coming for only you, your team, and maybe another team. Like because sometimes it's funny to beat them. If people cheering for enemy's team, I also like that, because I want to make everyone sad. Like, yeah. But for this tournament, I like it because for me it's more like to play with my friends, and we have a lot of time. Like, I mean, yeah, it's kind of funny to meet our players in other like disciplines. It's also cool, and we can share some experience. Even it's all about yeah, I like it.
You have many teams present here from Kyrgyzstan, like for Tekken, for example, or for eFootball.
Yeah, we got Tekken, one guy, eFootball, one guy, 4 players from PUBG Mobile. I heard they got top 1.
They won, yeah.
Yeah.
You won? Yeah.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
To be honest, I was very sad. After the top 3, we got bronze, and today I will woke up and I will feeling like good, good vibe because I like, oh my god, Alga Kyrgyzstan, it's like, go, it's cool. Yeah,
You got gold.
yeah, we got gold, and because I really wants to take this gold for our country. It didn't happen, but other guys carried, so I'm so happy. Yeah.
So I think everybody would think for their own teams that at least go back home with one gold medal or at least top 3, right? You guys did it already, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably it was not Dota, but definitely the PUBG guys made you proud, yeah.
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 I'm like,
Bronze is not bad. Come on.
yeah, even bronze is good
It's
because
very good.
Also,
Romania-
got money. It's good also.
You know that you beat our asses at PUBG Mobile. We got 3rd place. We got bronze.
Yeah.
Romania.
Oh.
So we were on the 1st place. So yeah, congrats to you then. And I just wanted to ask you a little bit more about your home country, yeah, about Kyrgyzstan. If you were gonna host an event there, let's say an event such as this one, would it be a big crowd wanting to participate in this kind of event?
Yeah, I'm sure we have. I mean, everyone. A lot of people plays Dota too. Everyone knows CS:GO, and I'm sure we will have a lot of people like. But it's a bit dangerous, I guess, because
Dangerous.
one of my teammates said like, if you'll make like when open ceremony is. And one of my friends said, "Oh my God, there is like security not that good because if it will happen in Bishkek, it might a lot of like fights or something like that.
Oh,
A bit, yeah,
you think that would be the case? You think they would do that? If you were hosting this event, let's say you're playing USA, right? In Kyrgyzstan, you're playing Dota, and USA wins, let's say, right? How are the fans going to react? How are the people of Kyrgyzstan going to react?
yeah. I'm not sure. Don't wanna say that.
So it's bad.
What he means is you'll be fine, Gunnar. Don't worry.
No, I mean, I remember like cool stories like 10 years ago when you're coming in another country, like in Kazakhstan, or they're coming to ours. And sometimes you're winning top 1 and you're not carrying money to your home because some guys sketched you. But not these days, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, we've come to a place where it's nowadays it's a lot safer. Nowadays it's you've seen security everywhere around here, right? But nothing happens here. People are so calm. The city of Yash was so welcoming with everything. How did you find your experience so far in Yash? How did Yash receive you?
Cool. It's I like this Zayac. I know this big
The palace?
Yeah, palace. It's so cool. I know this. I feel like I like this architecture. You know, these stones on the ground, like not the. It's you're feeling like yeah.
History,
Yeah,
right?
history. It feels like I'm saying it's not like new. It was being here maybe 5,000. I mean, 100 years. Yeah, and I like it.
Yeah. Yash is actually the historical capital of Romania. So a lot has happened in the past and in its history. Actually, the first ever theater that was built was here in Yash. You should take a look at it. It's very beautiful on the inside. And actually, a small sketch here. The local Philharmonica, right? The orchestra played the Counter-Strike theme, the in-game theme, played it on their instruments. It was something that names like One Pixel and big publications in the States tweeted about, and it was really cool. You should take a chance and look at it. I'm curious about let's go with you, Vlad. You're originally from what city in Romania?
Râmnicu Vâlcea.
Râmnicu Vâlcea. How is it different from of course it's smaller than
Yeah,
Yash,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But compared to, let's say, other cities that you've been to, how did Yash receive you? Is it your first time here?
Yeah, I think so. I was thinking maybe I was like a baby when I like been here. So, but this is definitely the first time I remember seeing any of the places around Yash, and I loved it because obviously Moldova, this part of Romania, is a huge part of Romanian history. But one of the things I didn't know was that the first university in Romania came in Iași. So I was very pleasant to discover that. I took a walk down city center and I saw some of the very old churches, one built by Stefan the Great. So very, very, very interesting. And I really like the location of the event. It's like we have a hub right about here with all of this arenas, and Comic-Con was next door, and some of the hotels are not that far. So I really like this concept of we have a hub that's not just all indoors. We can still go out, and I mean the weather hasn't been the most forgiving for us. But
Come on, man, let's not mention that.
Yeah, I mean it's not.
A little hot.
Yeah, it's above what any human could control, obviously. So I've definitely enjoyed the Iași, and I'm happy I've had the opportunity to see it. And now we still have a few more days, so hopefully we'll get the chance of exploring a bit more of the Moldovan culture.
How about you, Nico? You have the old, as Bakut mentioned, you have the palace, and you have the new, the mall, right? The huge mall that is right around the hub that Vlad mentioned. How is it, this combination to you? How does it feel?
It's really cool. We went to the palace one of the first days we were here, walked around, which was nice. The mall has been our savior. We spent so many hours in the food court just waiting for our games because it's not too far to go to the hotel, but it's like way easier to just sit in the mall in the AC, get some food, and then like, all right, guys, how long till our match? And I like it. The mall's really nice to walk around. It's fun, so I've liked it. I haven't really explored much of the whole city because we've been kind of busy doing stuff. So I have a couple days off now, so I'll probably go. I heard there was a nice botanical garden that I might go look at.
Yeah, you should go there. Definitely.
So.
Well, it's not your first time in Romania, right?
I think it is. I'm pretty sure
So it's your first time here,
Yeah.
right? What were the first impressions? How did Iași welcome you?
I also agree. The architecture was really nice. The buildings. I like this like old style. We went to a nice restaurant. It's like they said it was like 300 years old.
Wow.
And we were in like a wine cellar. It was like a very, I guess, like classic Romanian restaurant kind of thing. So that was fun. The food was good. The menu was interesting.
So you had some proper Romanian food?
I think so. Hopefully.
Have you? Let me check on that. You're probably more familiar because of culture with sarmale and stuff like that. Probably, I'm not sure. It's more on the influential Turkish side. Some of our dishes because we were right close to the Ottoman Empire back in the day. But how about the food, right? Because I don't want to bully. Yeah, North America. I don't want to bully at all, right?
Okay, that's a good way to start a sentence. I'm excited.
Wow. You know what? I was watching an interview with Tom Holland, right? And the interviewer, I'm sure you know it. And the interviewer goes, "What do you pride yourself on most with British cuisine, right?" And Tom was like, "Okay, we don't have that much, but what do you have as Americans?" And the guy goes, "Well, we have French fries," and Tom goes like, "It's in the name, bro. It's in the name." Yeah. So definitely, I'm one most for that as well. But did you try anything else that looked a little bit weird, probably a little bit more different than what you're used to?
So what'd you have for dinner?
What'd you have for dinner? Yeah.
I mean, we mostly ate at the food court, which I wouldn't say is like too crazy. It's like kebab, stuff like that. We get.
Oh, wow.
At the restaurant we had. What's it called? I forget. It was like some just.
Describe it, please.
It was very basic. It was like breaded like chicken. I just am forgetting the word.
A schnitzel?
Yeah, it was just schnitzel.
A schnitzel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so far away from us. Yeah. Did you happen to have like those small? Let's describe sarmale a little bit, Vlad. Yeah, right. So, if I would put it.
Okay, so think about.
Go on the mic.
Cabbage, okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, this is not gonna sound great, but I tell you, it's.
I like
not
pickled cabbage.
Okay, pickled cabbage, and then you've got meat. Think about a burger. That's not a burger. It's more of a cylinder.
Minced meat within the pickled cabbage.
Yeah.
Minced meat within the pickled cabbage, right? And for us, it's delicious.
And that's it.
Well, you would have no. That's not it.
Well,
That's it.
No. Okay.
You're gonna get hated on my.
No, I meant like because it sounded like he wanted to say more, but you cut him off.
Yeah, to be fair, that was not the most. Okay, no, you have it with stuff. You have it with so a big thing that we use in Romania.
Polenta,
multiple dishes,
right?
Polenta. I mean, yeah, polenta. Do you know what polenta is?
Kind of faintly.
So it's
yellow.
It's yellow. It is yellow.
It kind of looks. Is that? Does it look like mashed potatoes, kind of, or no?
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
shout. Let's
Yeah,
go with that.
I my friend got it for breakfast today, so we had some
For what?
for like
breakfast?
lunch. It was like lunch.
Sure. Okay. So that's good. That's good.
I would say the most Romanian thing is that I would say that the most Romanian thing that you could probably try, very easy to, well, usually very easy to get, and it's maybe with not many influences, is mici, which is translated in English as littles, and it's essentially cylinder-like burgers that you just dip in ketchup, mustard, whatever you
Mustard.
want. Yeah, mustard is probably more classic. I would say that's very Romanian, and it's not really influenced by anyone. There's something like that in Greek culture, so that would be one to try. But I would say, what something to recommend? Okay, let's tell these boys.
I tell this to everybody that are tourists in general and have never been here. We actually don't have no national cuisine, something traditional. The only thing that is traditional for Romania is placenta with...
Not placenta, polenta.
Polenta, oh,
Oh
my
my
God. Oh my God. It's
And
that
blood,
better.
because we're vampires in Romania, of course.
The save.
Yeah.
Thank you for the save, man. It's polenta with some cheese and with some
Sour cream.
sour cream. That's the only thing that back in the day the how do you call the ones that go with the sheep? I'm so
Farmers?
Yeah, farmers, yeah.
Shepherds.
Shepherds.
yeah.
Thank you. Shepherds would used to eat when they went out with the sheep on the mountains. That's the only thing that Romania has. So sorry to bully American food, right? North American food.
No, I think-
we don't have anything either.
I think we're embarrassing ourselves here, Gunnar. Right?
Well, my friend was maybe you can test this recommendation. He was recommended beef tripe soup.
Yes,
that's a
triple
Romanian
good,
dish.
I think.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
Would you
Go
would you
with
recommend
the-
it?
with a chili pepper, yeah, next to it, and some bread. It
Yeah.
usually helps
Do you like beef?
Yeah,
That's fine. I think you'll be fine. That's a good shot.
that was his recommendation
yeah.
from a
Or
friend.
the best would be soup or ciorbă rădăuțeană. I don't think we're gonna share info.
We've got
after
lots
this.
of stew,
Sure.
lots of stew, soup like.
Soups.
I haven't
like
I haven't gotten that many soups, so I guess I'm missing out.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one question.
Go.
Yeah, which language closest to Romanian?
Come again?
Which language closest to Romanian language? Like the similar
Close-
maybe, or like something like
Okay, we have Slavon, right? Russian. We have close to 2 to 3%, something like this, because more is in the Slavic part of things. We have 7% in our vocabulary of Latin, right? Close to that. And other is just from the old Thracian nations that were here. Am I right?
I mean, I don't know the percentages, of course, but I would say probably Latin. Like if you speak Romanian, and you could probably understand a lot of French, Italian, Spanish type language, like even Portuguese to some extent. They're all Latin languages, and
Yeah.
yeah, that was probably.
because it's not like obvious, to be honest. When I hear like some Romanian speech, it's like maybe unical a bit. I can't like understand like, oh no, it's not Latin that much maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes it's a bit Slavic, sometimes
It depended a lot on the movement and culture that was present in Romania. 100 years back, let's say, or probably between the 1900s and 2000s, right? French was a strong influence on our culture, our poetry, our text in general. But then we switched more to English now, since it's a worldwide phenomenon, right? I think that's it. But if you go towards northeast a little bit, right, you're going to hear more Russian. Yeah. So in the Republic of Moldova, which is separate from Romania, if you go northeast, you're going to hear a lot of Russian.
Yeah, it's like dialects.
No, it's pure Russian.
Okay.
Pure Russian.
Okay.
Children in school learn Romanian and Russian.
I get it.
More on the Transalpina, Crimea, that kind of side.
You might find some Hungarian in some central north parts of Romania as well.
Yeah. Historically, we have influences from all around us, but the Romans were the strongest in our territory. We have some Turkish influences as well. Yeah. So a little bit of everything. A little bit of everything.
Interesting.
Wait, can I just list
Go ahead.
Can I just list more food? Because I definitely feel like we're letting the country
Please.
down. Yeah, I just,
Back to
okay, you can have a bœuf salad, which is translated as a beef salad. Bœuf means beef in French. It doesn't have
Is
beef.
that the pickled one or no? This is different.
There's some pickle. No,
lot
so
of
this is just a
pickled
salad.
stuff.
This is just a salad right now. Okay, this is salad. Okay,
My
that's pretty good. It has mayo and vegetables. Some parts of the country put chicken on it. You can have slanina, which would be very interesting to explore. So it's pork skin. Yeah. Okay, it's pork skin.
It's what you make these.
Yeah. Okay. That's what we could have. You could have piftie. Piftie is essentially sour jelly with a bit of meat.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Okay, we've got slanina. I said slanina.
Yeah,
Shorik. Shorik is pork skin.
Oh my god.
What else? Come on, bro. We're embarrassing ourselves here. Cheese, Romanian cheese. Some of the Filipino casters from MLBB, shout out to them. They said that Romania is officially the best cheese they've ever tried.
Yeah. If you want to try cheese, go ahead. We don't have the typical
Not sure.
now cultural difference.
Yeah.
Natural cheese, right? No, I'm talking in the U.S. I have had the opportunity once to visit, right? And I've seen only yellow cheese.
Yep.
Everywhere I went, yeah. May it be sliced or in bigger portions, right? Here you have white straight
Yeah.
from the. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Straight from the cows and stuff. Did you have a chance to try it so far? Like
I did, yeah.
How was
at
it?
the lunch today? I thought it was really good. With the
Yeah.
whole, I like that kind of cheese, like with the rind and like you know,
Mm-hmm.
real cheese.
He's mad about that thing with the cuisine. Right, guys, you have been so wonderful with me tonight. Thank you so much for taking your time and speaking to me. It was lovely to meet you all. Enjoy the rest of the event. Yeah. Props to you again, Vlad, for being such a hero behind that desk for so many hours in the heat. Props to you guys playing. Sometimes maybe not in the best conditions, right? Because of the weather, as you said, nobody can control it. And props to you guys watching us back at home. As always, actually, as in the past couple of days, I have been Santa, your host. We're going to meet for the next couple of days as well. Shout out to these guys over here with me, Nico, Vlad, and Bakut. Yeah, I have remembered correctly. Thank you so much, guys. And see you tomorrow with more interesting guests at Vodafone Play Talks. Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening.